That's it, the 1 meter and the 3 meter springboards.
Okay. I guess, as a coach, what does it mean for you to have these kids going to NCAAs?
Well, I got to tell you, both of these athletes came in with a limited amount of prior experience. Amanda had a little more than Paul coming in, but primarily she was on the low springboard, the 1 meter springboard. Really had no experience on the 3 meter springboard. So the fact that she's excelled the way she has on the 3 meter springboard, and the fact that Paul's excelled the way he has on both springboards is really amazing to me. I mean, the dedication and you know, the drive they have to do better and continually excel is absolutely amazing to me. So
you say Amanda came in and she had a little bit more, but not much. And we were just talking. Look up there; she holds everything. It's quite a growth.
Well, I guess to say that she has the determination and drive might not quite characterize her personality either. You know, she really has. She's got the dream. You know, she wants to take this sport as far as she can, and you know, I believe she's got the talent and she's got the want to make it happen. So, you know, owning the records here at Rider University is just the first step.
She told me that sometimes you tell her she gets in her own way. What do you mean by that?
Well, I mean, I think all athletics, but you know, especially diving, can be as much mental as it is physical. I mean, you know, you look at the girl and you can see she's in incredibly good shape. She's an athlete, you know, through and through. It's the mental aspect of the sport that sometimes gets to her. She sometimes gets down on herself. You know, diving is a sport of perfection. I mean, we're being, you know, judged on a scale of 0 to 10, and you know, define perfection. You know, how do you ever reach that? And so she looks at herself and her diving on videos and stuff like that. And she gets a little frustrated from time to time. You know, she'll get in the contest and think maybe that she didn't do a dive as well as she should have, and it's hard. You know, it's hard when you're looking at that kind of you know, of a judgmental sport. You know,
what makes you believe she can do well?
You know, she's got the experience now. We've gone to a couple, actually more than a couple, national championships as far as United States diving goes, senior level diving through the governing body of diving the sport in the United States. She's excelled extremely well there. You know, that's diving against the top divers in the country. She continually finishes at the top when we go to these big meets, you know, at the NCAA and at the senior level. You know, I think she's coming into her own now, where she's starting to actually get a grasp on the fact that she deserves to be there, that she is competitive at that level, and that, you know, she can be at the top no matter what the field is that we put her in.
And with Paul, what's been the growth in him to get him to where he is now?
You know, Paul walked in my door an athlete. He was in incredibly good shape physically. He was strong. You know, he had a lot of the things physically that a diver requires. You know, that it requires to be a good diver. So that wasn't necessarily my struggle. My struggle with him was the fact that he was, you know, we call it being green. He was so green. You know, Amanda had been competing on the 1 meter board for quite some time. You know, quite a few years before coming to Rider. Paul had very limited experience. He walked in the door physically able to do a lot more than he was mentally and technically able to put together on a diving board. I mean, he had only had a 1.5 years or so experience, you know, on any diving equipment. So for him to grow and earn himself some records and compete and finish at the top 12 in the country, both at the senior level and in our zone, is just outstanding. I mean, he's in 4 years has done such an amazing job at continuing to grow. Every day he came in and stepped foot on the diving board.
He seems like somebody who's a very emotional person. You know what I mean? Is it hard sometimes for you to get him to keep those emotions in check?
It is. It is from time to time. He's, you know, you asked me earlier about Amanda being, you know, getting in her own way. You know, Amanda gets in her way, but also has a way of quickly stepping out of her own way and getting on with business. Paul is when he gets frustrated, he needs to take a second step back, you know, and back away from things, and he needs a little more time. So, you know, I think you hit the nail right on the head when you said that he can get emotional. I mean, both on the good side of things and on the bad side of things. You know, when he gets frustrated, he needs a second to step back and a little more time to recover from that. But when he's, you know, we call it in the zone, when he's in the zone, you know, that has something to do with being emotional as well, and he feeds off that. So he continues to do better and better when he's in the zone. You know, he's not going to let something small hold him back when he's there. So it works with us and against us.
Right. Last one. How proud are you of these kids?
Oh, I could not be more proud. I mean, for both of them to come in here with, you know, first of all, for them to choose Ryder and to trust me to take them, you know, where they wanted to go. Was something that, you know, makes me proud. The fact that they really chose to come here, and the fact that they were able to listen to me for 4 years and take what I was giving them at face value and run with it. I mean, I tell everybody I don't, you know, turn these kids into what they are. They turn themselves into what they become. All I do is sit there and watch and try to help them. You know, I give them a few pointers, but if an athlete comes into my program and wants to excel and wants to attain certain goals, I'm going to do everything I can to help them reach those goals. But it ultimately comes down to them. You know, they have to want it. They have to be willing to put in the work and the time that it takes to get there. And these two have done that. And you know, I couldn't be more pleased. And there's just no words for how happy I am that they've both attained their goals so far.
Thanks very much.